agents. Casting agents do not exist. They're not agents. They do not represent the actor. A lot of beginning actors don't really have a clear idea of the differences between an agent, a casting director, and a manager. In this video, I'm going to tell you what each of these roles does and doesn't do for an actor. Come right back. Okay, you're a beginning actor and you don't know. Do you need an agent? Do you need a manager? What does a casting director do? How does an agent work with a manager and a casting director? Well, here I'm going to tell you all of those things. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Doug, and this is Augmented Actor, where we help you augment your acting career with tips, tactics, and tech. If you're not an actor, you're still welcome here. So let's get started with agents. What do agents do? Agents they represent a group of actors that they have curated from a bunch of other actors. An agent does a few things for an actor. They help the actor find auditions, and particularly auditions that they can't find through traditional means of self-submission. They negotiate the actor's contracts on behalf of the actor. So they negotiate your rates, they negotiate the usage for the footage that's being shot, how long it's going to be used, and what markets it's going to be used. They also negotiate, nudity riders and things like that, whether or not you're being paid for your costumes or use of your own clothes, and the dates that you're actually going to be shooting. And then the third thing the agency does is they handle the payments that come in. So they will track your residual checks. They will get the payment from the project, and they'll take out their commission and send you the rest. And that's pretty much all agents do. Now, there are a number of different agency types out there. There are film and television agencies, there are commercial agencies, voiceover agencies, there are theatrical agencies for the bigger markets like Broadway, and there are agencies that represent stand-up comedians, or musicians, or writers, or directors. So you want to be able to find an agent that does the thing that you're looking to do, and you might have a theatrical agent and a film and television agent. You might have an agent in every different city or market that you work in. Now, each agent gathers from a pool of available actors. They basically audition actors into their roster. So think of an agency as a partnership. They're going to help you find projects that you otherwise wouldn't be exposed to, and you're going to do your best to be the most professional actor out there. And when they bring you in front of those casting people, that you are representing yourself and the agency in the best way possible. Now, let's talk about how the agent finds work for you. Now, an agent has access to roles that are not available publicly for actors to see. So if you're subscribed to Backstage or Actors Access or something like that, you see these roles coming in. Almost all of those are independent films, smaller films, or they're smaller roles that they're casting a wider net for because they're looking for something specific type that they haven't found from their agencies. But generally, the bigger roles, the lead roles, are all through agencies. So you're not going to get access to those roles as an actor unless you have an agent. Agents work solely off commission. It's usually 10%. That's the industry standard. So if you're a union actor, it's always 10%. However, in some of the smaller markets like Seattle, most of the agents take 20% because they're doing a lot of non-union work. It doesn't pay as much. They need to make money somehow. So that's kind of a standard in certain regions. So you want to check out what your region standard is for commissions. But an agent only makes their money off of commissions. So an agent will never charge you for headshots or workshops and classes. They'll never require you to take those things. They might suggest that you get new headshots. They might suggest that you get a little bit more training or get up to speed on certain skills or whatnot, but they're not going to require you to do that. And the agent also acts as a gatekeeper. So they're going to only send their best clients over to the casting. Now, they might cast a wide net. So for instance, if a role comes up, my agent will send out an email to all of the people that are in that group, that type. And then we'll say whether or not we're available for all the shoot dates and whatnot. And if you are available, you will submit an audition. Now, the agent will look at those auditions prior to submitting them to the casting director. And if anything isn't up to par, or they're not happy with an actor's performance or something like that, anyway, it's not going to show the best light of the agency, they're not going to submit that. So they're kind of a gatekeeper too, so they can kind of work against you if you aren't properly prepared. Now, when agents are negotiating your contract, they will look for they'll know what the good rates are for the usage of that stuff. So they'll watch out for things like in perpetuity clauses, which mean that they can use your footage for any purpose from now in forever, and that usually would require a much higher rate. So they know to watch out for those little pitfalls in the contracts, and they will try to get the best rate that they possibly can from you, because the more you get, the more they get, right? And so your agent deals with all those contract and money matter things on your behalf, so that you don't even have to talk about them with the people. You can just go in and be the actor. Okay, now let's talk about managers. Acting managers, they represent the actor in terms of helping them out. They're sort of like their right-hand person, right? So they will deal with things like scheduling auditions, making sure that there's no overlap between projects. They will sometimes act as an intermediary between the agency and the actor. So they'll say, hey, no, they're not going to be able to do this audition, but they will do this, and then they'll pass the information on. They take care of the actor's finances, perhaps, so maybe they'll log payments and commissions and keep their tax documents prepared. They will book interviews and social engagements and things like that. They'll help the actor manage their social media platforms and, sort of get the word out about projects that the actor is doing. So basically, they kind of handle all the day-to-day things for a busy actor. Now, a manager does not have to be accredited or certified or anything like that. They can be a relative or a friend of the person, of the actor, or they can be a management company that manages a few different actors as well. Usually, however, unlike an agent, a manager will represent just one or two actors, and they'll spend a lot of time helping that actor achieve the next goal in their career, or move up the ladder, or get better known, all those kind of things. So a manager is sort of like your publicist, your personal assistant, and all that kind of rolled into one. A manager can give you advice. They can say, hey, I don't think this is good for your career. I don't think that's enough money for this. And then they would deal with the parties involved on your behalf, so you don't have to deal with it. Now, if you are a theatrical actor and maybe you do a show, or you put on a show yourself, you're not going to necessarily use an agent for that, because they're not booking you on auditions. You're going to have a manager, because they're going to be dealing with things like hotels and air flights and booking certain venues for you on your behalf. So that's when you would need a manager. Managers are paid sometimes through commission for gigs and appearances that they book for you, or they can be paid a flat fee, or a combination of both. So that's kind of up to you to decide with your manager. Because an acting manager is usually only representing one actor or just a few actors at a time, they're going to have a lot of time to devote to your day-to-day progress and well-being and whatnot. They're gonna help you grow your career. So you want to get a manager when you are kind of overwhelmed with things. You're working a lot. You're making appearances, or you want to get to the point where you're working a lot and making appearances. So maybe you get a manager when you're not quite to that point and you want to get to that point. I would say don't get a manager right off the bat when you're an actor, and you don't need an agent right off the bat when you're an actor. You have to build yourself up a little bit to get to the point where you need those people. All right, now let's talk about a casting director. First of all, they are not called casting agents. Casting agents do not exist. They're not agents. They do not represent the actor. They represent the client, the director, the project, the producing company. They are hired and paid by the producing company. They get a flat rate or an hourly rate, or however they negotiate their fees. They are not on commission. Casting directors do not get any money from the actor. In fact, they don't really care which actor comes in so much as they care about the quality that each tape or audition is giving to the director. And their job is to find the right people for the roles that are being cast in a film or theater project or whatever. They have resources. They keep a database and a mental database of all the actors that they've ever seen out there. They know who has what types and who has what skills, and they cast nets out to all the different acting agencies out there so that they can get the right actor for the right role. They are a huge gatekeeper for the actor. A casting director is only going to deliver the top 2 or 3 picks for the director to see. They need to filter not only through all of the self-submissions that come in from the general public, but through all of the actors that are submitted with the agencies. So whenever you submit a self-tape, it will go through your agent. The agent will decide to submit a certain of those self-tapes to the casting director, and then the casting director will trim those down to just 3 or 4 options that fit that role that they're looking for. And then they'll give those to the director, and then callbacks and things like that happen from those few selects. So if you get a callback from a casting director, it means you are one of the select few, right? You made it through several cuts to get there, and so that's a good thing. So just know that you're right for that role, and you're in a good place with them, and so you should go into that callback with confidence. It's good to get to know your casting directors when you audition for them regularly, invite them to see your shows, things like that, because they're constantly looking at people and sizing people up and typing them. If you're in their mind as a good actor that they can rely on, that's going to deliver good work, you'll get called in more often. So the more you know those casting directors, the better off you are. Casting directors are often the best people to take acting workshops for, because they're in the trenches. They know exactly what they're looking for and how they want actors to behave in the casting room and on the self-tape audition. So the advice that they give is really good and practical. And plus, when you take a workshop from them, they get to see a little bit of you. It's no guarantee that they're going to cast you in anything, but they put a name with a face. They know a little bit more about you. You can give them your headshot and resume while you're doing the workshop, and that helps maybe in the future land you a few roles. I hope you now have a clearer understanding of the differences between these different roles. If you do have some specific questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below. I'll try to answer every question that comes in. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about how to go about getting an agent or whether or not you even need an agent, I will have another video on that coming soon, so make sure you hit subscribe to see that, or it may be in this playlist up here. I'm so glad you joined me today. I hope to see you again here soon. Have a good day. Bye.